everyone. It's Scott here from the fragrance channel, Scott Aromatico. Welcome. I'm so glad you guys could join me today. I am super excited because I have my good friend here. He is one of a huge fragrance enthusiast, one of my heroes, one of the guys I used to watch when I first got started. His name is Sebastian Jara right here, and he is from the fragrance channel, Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Is that right?
Yes, that's the name of the channel. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And where can they find you? What are some of your social media sites where they can find you?
So the channel is Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews, but on Instagram, you can look for the Perfume Guy. And I also have a Facebook page, the Perfume Guy. And then I do have a Facebook group for fragrances, and it's Looking, Feeling, Smelling Great. So if you like to discuss and join in a fragrance, perfume-related conversation, you can also join the Facebook group. So,
well, you just got me because I didn't know that you had that group. I'm definitely going to join that. And I'm going to put a link to everything down in the description, so it'll be easy for everybody to find all those channels as they're watching this video. Yeah, awesome. Cool. So thank you so much for being here. It really means the world to me. And like I said, I really looked up to you when I first got started in this hobby, and I devoured a lot of your videos, Steven's videos, and so it's just super exciting and also surreal to have you in front of me talking to you.
You're welcome.
So
I'm glad to be doing this. It's been a hectic week, so this is a nice kind of a calming transition to something a little more, focused. And yeah, it's been a kind of a crazy week this week. So this is a nice little
escape.
Escape from it. So
awesome.
Perfect.
Well, I'm sure the viewers will be excited to learn more about you and get inspired by some of the things that you're doing. So the first question is going to be real tough, real hard. So I'm going to get you with this one. What is your scent of the day?
So, I've been testing out a bunch of things, and it's a sample. The latest one I sampled is Montal's Oud Mazing from a little sample somebody had sent me.
Oh.
And I'm actually digging it.
Yeah.
I'm actually digging it. And it's funny. I sprayed myself, and I'm reminded of a few fragrances like Mugler's Angel or even Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle. And where am I getting that from? But I had never sampled it before. So there's something patchouli-esque under there, and I'm digging it. Really, really digging Oud Mazing. First time smelling it.
I love patchouli.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's got that earthy, sweet vibe that I love about it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Sebastian, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, like where you live and what you're doing, and just whatever you're willing to share?
Sure. So I live in San Francisco, Northern California. It's almost, I live in San Francisco, has its own microclimate, so we don't have a lot of warm days. Right now, we're experiencing cool spring days, which is perfect, but an hour outside of here, it's probably 85, 90 degrees. Maybe not 90, but around the 80s. So wearing fragrances here is different than wearing them in warm places. So
like here, South Carolina.
You have warm weather?
Oh my gosh, yes, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, it's 100 degrees in the summertime. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, I sometimes like fragrances in humid weather because they actually really open up a lot more than cold weather, because it's so cold here, and if you're not mobile a lot, the fragrances are not going to bloom on you unless you're kind of like warming up your body. But what do? I work in the music biz, and I live downtown San Francisco. It's been a crazy year or so. Being downtown in a big city with COVID everywhere, it's been challenging, and work has been really, really busy. And I do 6-7 videos a week. So it's been keeping me busy, extremely busy. So that's kind of what I've been doing lately. Awesome. I normally travel. I'm missing travel.
Yes.
Generally travel to Europe. So hopefully that'll kind of get back on track.
What are some of your favorite places you get to?
So I do enjoy the perfume towns. I love London. I love Paris a lot. And then, of course, different cities in Italy. Lots of different. Italy is known to be the niche perfume capital of the world. they love
I love
niche
Italy.
perfume.
Oh, so gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah. And Paris, you know, there's so many shops there, so many different perfume shops, and a lot of the small niche brands have their own stores you can visit, like their own standalone stores. In addition to places like Chavoy, you can go and, you know, sample all the, you know, hip new niche brands. And of course, London has all those Harrods and Selfridges.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, you can go and, you know, get all these great perfumes. So I'm missing traveling, but I think we might be getting out of this probably. I'm not sure this year, but maybe next year.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I just got my second vaccine, and
okay.
Yeah, so I was very sick on the second one.
Oh,
it started out fine, but by the time 24 hours later, I was like exhausted.
Yeah,
mostly achy and like sleepy, exhausted. So
it's got to be a relief, though, isn't it? A little bit.
It's a relief, yes, but I keep hearing about these new variants coming out, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh no! And so sometimes I just want to be an ostrich and bury my head. You know, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yeah.
So
anyway, that's what's going on.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've never been to London. I've never been to Paris, so I'm kind of jealous of you. I have been to Croatia, I've been to Slovenia, and I've been to Venice, Italy. So I love to travel as well. Yeah. But one day I'll get to Paris. It's I got to keep my goals in front of me.
Yeah, if you do, yeah, I mean, I know where all the great shops are, so hit me up and I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, don't worry, I definitely will. All right, Sebastian, what was that one thing or the series of events that led you to become a fragrance enthusiast like you are today?
So I started watching videos in the latter part of the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
I think what was going on was I've always been a fragrance person. I'm a Middle Eastern guy, so Middle Easterners love their fragrances. We also, yeah, we are obsessed with scent. We love to overspray. We like it strong, deep, rich, ambery, orientals, things like that. So I've always been a fan. My parents both loved them. My dad was an oversprayer. My mom's an oversprayer. My mom loves beast mode. She loves them to last a long time. So I think that left an impression on me because I'm obsessed with smells, not only perfumes, but I love like great smells of flowers, herbs, and trees, and, you know, the environment and things like that. So
that's actually a question I have for you.
Oh, I'm sorry to jump around.
No, you didn't say specifically, so you're good.
Yeah, so I think what really happened was I was looking up fragrances in the latter 2000s on Google, and I think somehow I got a recommendation for a review on Google, and I clicked on it, and I started watching Robes, Street Scents, and then the Asian guy, I forgot his name. There was also Kerosene. So I was watching those four guys, but it took me about 3 years to actually start launching my own. I started my first video in 2012. My first channel was called Man Loves Cologne, which is no longer, it's gone. I won't get into the details of that in this video, but I started a second channel in 2015. And, but yeah, I think Robes and Street Scents, Kerosene, who now has his own perfume brand, and then the Japanese guy, I forgot his name. Those were the four guys that I really, I guess, influenced or inspired to do a channel. Okay. Awesome. I mean, the thing is, the other reason is because I was actually forcing my mom to do a cooking channel, and I was shooting videos with her, and we had a channel going. She said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to get on front of the camera. It's too hard. And I'm like, okay, so we stopped doing that. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start my own channel. That's what really did it. Okay, cool. So like even as a kid, you always had a lot of fragrances around, or not really? Always. Okay. Always. Where are you guys from? Do you want to say or not? You said that you were. I'm a Lebanese-born Armenian guy. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Cool, man. Most people know. I always mention my upbringing and heritage. So yeah. You know, for the new people, you know, maybe they don't. So that's good to know. Awesome. Okay, so
you know, you became a fragrance enthusiast, and it was just like that. You're basically, your mom didn't want to do the videos anymore, and you just wanted to keep going with it.
I mean, I would have loved to have kept going with my mom. It was cooking. It was great food because she's the best cook. And obviously there's a lot more, I mean, food and cooking YouTube channels versus niche perfume channels.
Yeah.
The audience is so different, and there's more demand for that than perfumes. So,
okay.
But she just completely gave up. So I gave up that channel and started.
Yeah. But is that what inspired you? Because you just wanted to keep making content to do the fragrance channel? What actually inspired you to do the fragrance channel?
I think what had happened was I started looking up videos, not videos, but actually reviews, and you know, find information about certain fragrances in the latter 2000s, which was also the downturn had come, the big crash.
Yeah.
So, you know, people didn't have a lot of jobs. My business was kind of on the rocks because of you know, the downturn.
Okay.
So that's when I was looking at different things to do, and I had a lot of time because nobody was working a lot anyway. So
yeah,
mom's channel, stopped the mom channel, and then I started my first channel in 2012. It was September of 2012 actually, and one of the very first videos I did it with was I had just bought a new bottle of Platinum Egoist, because I had worn that in the early 90s, and I hadn't worn it since then. So that was one of my very first videos.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because for me, doing the videos was not even an option at the beginning, because of how nervous I would be in front of the camera. And I actually just ended up doing it to challenge myself. And also, I'm always telling my kids, well, you have to step outside your comfort zone to grow. That's the only way you'll ever grow as a person. And here I am, you know, just preaching all this stuff, but not taking any advice. So it was a challenge to me to see if I could do it and stick with it. And also a challenge to my kids to be, you know, when I'm preaching these things, you know, to be a man of my word. So that's, and why I'm asking you those questions is just because for so many other people, it's so nerve-wracking or scared or, you know, whatever. And I was just wondering if you ever had those thoughts or feelings, or if it was just kind of easy for you to just jump into.
Well, I had some friends talking me out of doing it, first of all, but I'm a perfectionist, so I like to make it perfect, but I also like just want to just jump into it. So I didn't have the equipment. I mean, like I was telling you before we started recording, my first videos didn't have great lighting. They were all very moody. I didn't really have lights. So I was just shooting with natural lights, and where I live, it doesn't have a lot of light. It's really, really dark. So a lot of my videos at first were very, very dark. Plus it was 17-foot ceiling. So a lot of my audio is kind of not perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just doing them because I just wanted to talk about them, because I actually, I really like what goes into fragrances, and I'm obsessed with plants and nature and flowers and trees and herbs and things like that. So I always like to discover what fragrances smell like and what goes into the making of fragrances. So even though I was nervous, and I've gotten better at doing this, at first videos were way too long. People told me that they're just too long, and I go on a lot about them and things like that. And I still do, but I cut out some of the stuff I don't want to, leave in a video after the fact. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
The beauty of editing. Did you find it difficult, like some have, when you're passionate about it? Sometimes when you're really passionate about something, it can almost be mind-boggling to other people. Did you find it hard to share this with other people when you first were very passionate about fragrances and doing the videos, or was it easy for you to share that with other people?
Well, like I said, people were trying to talk me out of it because they didn't understand why there would be such a thing of, speaking about fragrances. So I just wanted to do it because I had a collection, and I wanted to grow it further too. Okay. And it just happened.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about being a content creator?
You know, sharing my thoughts of certain products with the world is my favorite part.
Okay.
I think it does take a long time to do this. It's not easy. You can do it all very easily with probably if you just have one of these, but I don't use a phone to do this with. I have a camera set up and everything. I've never done it with a phone unless like one day I was traveling and I didn't have a camera with me. I would shoot with a phone, but it's all with lighting and things like that now. That's my answer.
Okay, no, that's a good one. What's your least favorite thing about being a content creator?
Constantly editing.
It's a lot of work.
I mean, that's what I was doing for work for a while. When I went to film school, I was at post-production. I was doing post-production editing mostly. So I kind of thought this would be easy. And but now I'm starting to really feel it. It just takes a long time, especially when you do a lot of videos. And you're cutting out portions. You know, there is a reason why I do the editing, because sometimes I don't watch other reviewers anymore. I don't even watch any fragrance reviews, I should be honest. And I mentioned this recently in one of my videos, because a lot of times when I used to watch before, I used to get influenced, and I don't want to be influenced by people telling me what they think about a fragrance versus not, because it should all come from me. And somebody likes it, I'm like, oh, I like that guy. I think I'm gonna like that fragrance, even though I don't like the fragrance, kind of a thing. So I don't usually watch, but when I watch other videos, I could see that they have not edited a video. They're like thinking, and then we're just waiting for them to think about something. And it's like, please cut that part out. I don't want to sit here waiting, that's one of them. And a lot of times people complain my videos are long. That's what I would complain about videos, which make videos long. So yeah.
So what advice could you give me or anybody watching this how to handle the negative commenters?
It used to really bother me when I first started. I just delete. I'm marking them as spam or something. I don't know. I used to reply back. It's like, I don't even have time for that anymore, because there's a lot of negativity in the world. And I think that's one of the reasons why the world's not perfect now. I think over time you'll grow a thicker skin, I guess. But if it's bothering you, I don't know what to do. Just think of something positive. Like you have kids, think of your kids, and that'll kind of brighten your day if it kind of gets you down with the negativity and things like that. So
and it's a reflection on them. It's not a reflection on you. It's them, and they just a lot of times just sit back with their anonymity in their basement, eating their Cheetos, and they just want to get a rise out of you. So that's how I look at it. And I don't give them that. I just say, hey, thanks for stopping by. That's all. It probably takes them off that I do that. With seemingly, and I'm putting that in quotes, seemingly, keyword seemingly, so many people making content, especially in the fragrance community, do you think it's still worth somebody to get started with a channel starting tomorrow or starting today? Do you think it's worth it?
It might be, if you have a unique twist to it. I think there's always room for more. There's a reason why I don't specifically cover a lot of the mass designer fragrances, because there's way too many. And there's not a lot of people covering the niche stuff as much. So that's kind of what I stick to. But there are some designers that I pull in, because I do love designer fragrances that are great. But if you have your own unique twist to it, I guess, perhaps something different, maybe 3 people on camera talking about it, like it would be like a trio of people talking. I don't know, something different that has not been done.
Okay.
But I think if you're just going to sit in front of a camera and talking about the same fragrances everybody else is talking about, which, like I said, can do that, I think it might get a lot of it. It might not get a lot of attention. I don't know, but that's my thoughts.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. And in this line of questioning that I've been directing at you, what piece of advice, what's the best piece of advice you would give to a brand new content creator? If you could just give one piece of advice.
I've seen channels come and go. People have gotten bored or something and they just don't do it anymore. Dedication is the most important thing.
Yeah.
First, you have to be passionate, then you have to be dedicated.
Yeah.
If you don't have those, then don't bother with it.
Yeah, because it's like music, you know, if you play guitar, you would play guitar whether you made it into a band or not because you love to play. I love to draw. No one pays me to do it, but I still do it because I love it. So I think it's the same with this. You have to love it, whether people are following you or not following you, because that'll keep you going when no one's there. I think, but
yeah. And you also have to show some professionalism. Like, don't be shooting a review of a fragrance and then you leave the camera on and you go do something else and then come back, like things like that. I remember watching things like that early on. I don't know if it still happens or not, but it's like, do I have to figure out where I need to forward this to in order to pick back up? You know?
What's that one thing you would like to clear up for everybody about being a content creator? A misconception you think they have? If you
I guess people think I'm wealthy. I mean, I guess I do have a large collection, but I'm not like, I don't know, a millionaire or anything. I don't have a lot of other hobbies because I've kind of focused on just this, which allows me to spend money on the stuff that I have.
Okay.
But I'm not like a millionaire. I mean, I live in a very expensive city. It is very expensive here, but I'm a very frugal person. So I guess that's what I'd like to clear up with people.
Okay, no. And you know, it seems like to me, because I'm new at this, so I'm on the outside looking in, you've been doing this for a while. It seems to me lately, there are so many content creators having their own fragrances out through one company or the other, or piggybacking off of a company, whatever. What is your stance on content creators making money through fragrances or whatever other means? How do you feel about that? If you choose to answer, you're not required to.
I'm all for it. If they want to launch their own brands, that's fine. But the thing is, are they investing on their own? Are they finding an investor? Is it just a get rich quick scheme?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, passion shows through. So if you're passionate about the products you're releasing, then it'll click with people.
Absolutely. I agree with you. So you touched on this a little bit earlier. As you've been growing up and, you know, where you live now or where you have lived in the past and all the places you've traveled, what are some favorite scents that you have? Like for me, like growing up as a kid, when spring came, I love the smell of fresh cut grass. And sometimes I have this odd affection for the smell of gasoline. Do you have any fragrances like that from, you know, just your travels, or, you know, that's something that's not in a cologne or a fragrance?
Well, petrol is one of the smells I used to really love as a kid. Gas station smells. I don't know what the heck that was.
I like that too.
But that would be, they'd be like, wow, what's that smell? And most people would not find that very pleasant, but I always did.
Yeah, me too.
I think those are the times that kind of woke my senses and to enjoying having a wide palette of smells that you like. A lot of people just don't take the time to appreciate smells like that, I guess, including in fragrances. And sometimes somebody that's only used to a specific scent, they don't have a wide palette. They'll be like, that stuff is gross or something.
Yeah.
But give it some time. If you become like me, you'll eventually like all those things. Like that. I mean, at one point I didn't like vanilla fragrances. That's my favorite note. One of my favorite notes. I wouldn't tell people I like roses. I love wearing roses. I mean, I hated white flowers. I love white flowers now. So your palette will open up to all these things.
Yeah, because when I first jumped in, I didn't like the smell of oud, and I'm starting to come around with it. But some of my other favorite scents for me, like I love it, like right before it's going to rain. I love that smell in the air. Great smell. I wish somebody could capture that. And I like it. I live close to Charleston, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous town if you've never been.
On my bucket list.
Oh, you need to. And if you ever do come, let me know. I'll show you around.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's awesome in Charleston. But I love when you start getting closer, how you can smell the ocean in the air, and I like that. And so just there's so many. Like there used to be a bakery where I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, that you could smell when you drove through a certain part of that city. You
Oh,
could
wow.
smell it right through your car, and I liked that too. So they made bread in one of the factories, and you could just smell it in the air, especially when they made onion bread.
Mm.
Yeah.
Fresh. Other things for me would be fresh baked bread.
Mhm.
Spice markets. Spice markets always smelled great.
Oh, I would
Rose
like
gardens.
to experience that. Yeah, a spice market.
Rose gardens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, what are some of your? We're in the kind of in the fun portion now. So, what are some of your favorite ingredients in fragrances?
Vanilla, patchouli, a lot of green notes, roses.
Okay.
Those are to start with.
Yeah, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Okay, here's a question. I think you kind of already answered it, but I'm going to ask you anyways.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite fragrance content creator? I know you said you don't really watch, and I'm like that too. I'm like that for a different reason, because I don't want to copy you now that I'm doing this, or copy Redolessence, or copy whoever, because I'll start picking up your mannerisms and then it's not original. So I try to watch a few, but not a lot, because then I'll start trying to emulate you. But do you have a favorite fragrance content creator?
I haven't watched anybody for so long.
Okay.
Who am I going to say?
You don't have to say anybody. That's fine. I just didn't know. I can talk about the people that brought me in for me, but you've already done that. So
yeah, probably those three guys. Well, four guys.
That's funny, because Redolessence mentioned that Asian guy too, but I wish I could remember his name. And I think he said whoever that guy is doesn't make videos anymore. But I
mean, he pulled his entire channel right when I first started. So it was around 2012, maybe early 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned this earlier, but I'm going to kind of hold you to the fire. I know you don't really like a lot of designer houses, but if you could pick 3 designer houses, who are your favorites?
So I've been a fan of Mugler since the 90s.
Yes,
I think
me too.
Mugler is definitely a great house, although they've taken a turn for the worse lately, sadly.
Discontinue everything too.
Yeah, they're not doing very well lately. So Dior Homme Parfum is one of my favorite fragrances, and I really do like the Dior Privé or Maison Christian Dior collection.
Mm-hmm.
Chanel is always great. I like Chanel. Guerlain, there's that whole confusion. Is it really a designer? Is it?
I know.
Guerlain has some great fragrances. I mean, they're great. I always categorize them under designer, and then people get all pissed off because it's not. It is and it's not, because you can't really put it with niche, like they're not. So yeah, Guerlain has great fragrances. Tom Ford has great fragrances.
It's a whole topic of discussion that probably you and I could do about what is designer and what is niche, and is that even the right terms for those? Like Fragrance Brothers did a whole video on how it should be called mainstream and boutique instead of those 2 words, which I kind of liked, because
I mean, Comme des Garçons is a fashion house, a Japanese designer from Paris, but their fragrances are so niche. It's like,
yeah, I get it. And then you have people that are like into jewelry who make fragrances. Is that designer? Is that designer?
Well, what about the car makers?
I know. We could just go on and on and on.
Yeah.
All right. What are some of your favorite luxury niche houses? You could pick 3.
So I love Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I love Frederic Malle. I love Zaharoff. I guess I'll just go with those 3.
Okay. No, those are 3 good ones.
A lot of people are complaining about Frederic Malle lately because it is under Estee Lauder now. And their fragrances are kind of getting watered down, perhaps, or reformulated. Now I could name. You said luxury. Does Frederick Wall really fall under luxury? They're pricey, so I guess they would fall under luxury. But luxury to me is more like, Zaharoff, Raja, kind of blingy kind of luxury, I guess.
I got you. Yeah.
So,
okay.
But yeah, I'll just go with those three for now.
Yeah, Zaharoff definitely fits in that category. They make some really good stuff, and I like their bottles and their presentation and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if your house or apartment, whatever you live in, were to catch on fire, and you could only save one, which fragrance would you save?
Oh, there's no such thing as saving just one. I just grab all these fragrances, run out. No, I don't know.
I know. I ask this. Everybody's like, "What's wrong with you, Scott?"
Well, it would have to be the most expensive ones, but I would also probably drag out the stuff that's no longer available.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point.
Because if I can rebuy those other ones, because I've got it insured, thankfully, I just leave those behind and grab the ones that I can't rebuy.
Do that. That's a good thoughtful answer. That's the first one I've gotten like that. Good job. How many fragrances do you have in your collection now, if you don't mind sharing?
It's anywhere between 3,500 to 4,000, maybe 4,250.
I'm coming for you, man. I think I got 300. I'm coming for you. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Do you also have? Yeah.
I'm kind of I don't have my fragrances in my home. I have a separate little shooting studio.
Yeah, I got you.
And a little place that I rented before the pandemic. Kind of trying to turn it into like a perfume library. And I also do like consultations here with some folks that really, a lot of my friends say when they come here, they go, I don't even have to go to a perfume shop. I just come here and see what you have, because I have not only everything that the perfume shops have, not everything, but a lot of it, but I have stuff that you can't even go to a perfume shop here to get. So it's all here. So once I'm kind of in the middle of a move, which is taking like more than 2 months, but once my furniture is all organized and everything, I think, and the pandemic is over and I can bring people here, I think I will, as like a little perfume library, like a reference library, things like that. So that's what I'm kind of trying to do with this little studio.
Like a museum, kind of.
It's not big enough for a museum, and I wouldn't bring like 5 people, 6 people, or 7. Like maybe just 1 or 2 people here at the same time, and kind of go over stuff that they want to smell, which I've already started doing in the previous studio. But individual clients at once. But I can bring maybe 1 or 2 more people, like 3.
What a cool idea! That's awesome, man. So that's very cool. You're doing what you love and what you're passionate about, and man, that's you can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, people come from out of town and they want to go smell fragrances, and they can just come here and smell stuff that they probably will not be able to smell at some of the other stores. So
that sounds like a good time to me. What are some of your other than this? What are some of your other passions and hobbies?
Traveling, I already mentioned. I think I love to travel, which I have not been doing. As soon as I can start doing it, I'll do that. Movies are some of my favorite things to watch. I'd love to go to the theaters, which is another thing I'm not doing. Music, I'm obsessed with music. And good food, love really good food.
Sebastian, where do you want to go that you haven't been?
I think I'd like to continue going back to Europe. There are a few Asian countries I'd like to go to. South America is not on my list. Islands could be fun. I like
Have history. You been to Japan?
Never been to Japan.
I want to go.
I think Tokyo definitely would be on my list. Singapore would be on my list. Maybe Hong Kong.
Because I imagine especially those temples in Kyoto, I imagine what they must smell like inside. And,
yeah. Incense.
Yeah, I would love to experience that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that one thing people would be surprised to know about you?
People think I'm shy. Just wait till you get to know me.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. All right, so you already touched on this, and I'm glad you didn't answer these questions. But what are some of your favorite movies?
So I went to film school because of 2 films. Hairspray by John Waters, Woman on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown by Pedro Almodovar.
Wow.
So I do have, I like quirky comedies, camp, I love camp, kitschy things, and you know, but I also really love Hitchcock. Hitchcock's one of my favorites. I'm a big film person, so I have a huge palette of loves in film.
I got you. Me too.
Mysteries, thrillers.
Yeah. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of my favorites.
Oh, great. Shot here in Northern California, I think.
Yeah, great movie. I liked this one might seem weird, but I love the movie Oh Brother Where Art Thou I have so many different reasons. I just thought it was a masterpiece, but that's
I love that one too. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So
yeah, I love the Coen brothers.
Yeah, they're good. How about, okay, so you mentioned music. What are some of your inspirations? What do you like to listen to?
Always been into instrumental music, but with a beat. I love a lot of electronic music, in different variations and forms. Love dark, electronic music, and a lot of different stuff. And I also love a lot of disco, new disco, synth wave, all the different anything electronic with a beat I like. So but cool. But I like, I like my 80s stuff a lot. I love a lot of classical music. I love jazz. Early jazz, New Orleans jazz, and things like that.
Yeah,
those are some of my favorite styles. Okay,
cool, awesome. And you mentioned food. You're a foodie. What are some of your favorite dishes to eat?
I love a lot of ethnic kind of foods. I love my Middle Eastern kind of food, my favorite. And I also love a lot of Mexican food. I love Vietnamese, Thai, anything. If you had a last meal, though,
if you had a last meal, what would it be?
It would be Lebanese. Okay.
I've never experienced that.
If you've had falafel, then you probably had Lebanese food.
I've not had that. I just saw somebody talking about it. I watch a lot of travel shows right now on YouTube, and I just saw somebody talking about that, and I told my wife, I was like, we need to try that.
Oh yeah. This is not the best city for Middle Eastern food, although there are a couple of places, but I'm sure you can find some somewhere. Yeah,
I think there's one that's close to me that I just need to just man up and try it. I think it's called the Golden Llama, and I think I need to just go ahead and try it.
Oh, cool.
Do you read?
I like to watch.
Okay, I was just asking because I was going to ask you.
No, I'm not. I'm not the biggest reader. I guess I'll read some news articles, but mostly I love YouTube to watch things. So
yeah, no, I'm the same way. I go down rabbit holes once I'm on YouTube, though.
Once in a while, I'll do like a Audible book, but once in a blue moon.
I got you. Okay. No, that's fair enough. All right. So it's really like all the questions I wanted to ask you, just kind of, quick and painless, and just have the audience get to know you a little bit more. And I really appreciate you taking the time, because I know you've got a lot going on with moving and your career and making videos. And so the fact that you took time for me, I'm super excited and happy. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So how long have you been doing this for? Let me ask you a question.
No, please do. Nobody ever does. So I haven't been doing it for very long. A year on Instagram. I think 8 months on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so honestly, the way I looked at fragrances was, I thought designers, like if you mentioned Versace to me or Chanel to me, I thought that meant luxury. Because they, their clothes are so expensive, or, I just assume, and so I thought when you buy a fragrance like that, so I would have that one fragrance I would buy once a year and keep it. And then when it would run out right around the time, and I wouldn't spray it all the time, I would spray it for special occasions or when I would go out on a date or go to church or whatever. And then I would make it last until the next tax season. And I'd buy another one. And really what kind of got me started into my fragrance game and fragrance life is the pandemic.
Obsession, the fragrance obsession.
The pandemic. Was it because I was like, okay, this pandemic is coming. I don't want it to get me down. I read enough books that, like, you know, when the Great Depression came and, you know, other things happened, that's when people would always try to find something to turn to distract them. And I was like, I'm going to use this opportunity to not be at work. I don't want to be bored and sit around. So I want to learn something new. And I don't know what it was, but I found Jeremy. You know, Jeremy. And I watched one of his videos and I just was like, notes and try down and pyramid structure and like, what is this guy talking about? And it was just a rabbit hole that I jumped down and I started getting obsessed. And then that led to this young kid, he's 21 years old, named Dallas Chaos Fragrances. And I started watching him every night at dinner time. And then this guy named Ross from TLTG Reviews, which led to Redolessence, which led to you, Max Forte. And then I started Googling stuff. And I have a notebook of notes, like, because I started Googling stuff and I was getting nutty about it. And I just didn't see how I was going to be able to afford a collection though. And so what happened is I, back when I was a kid, I used to donate plasma when I was a kid in my 20s. And I heard that they were going to start using plasma to help for cures. And I was like, well, I want to do that because I want to help people with cures for this disease. And also it'd be a good way to make some money. And I could just take that money and buy fragrances and not feel guilty for taking it out of my bill money. You know what I'm saying? So and I've been doing it ever since. I still donate plasma twice a week. And that makes me, you know, about $120 a week. And I take that money and buy, you know, designer fragrances, or I might have to save it up for a couple of weeks to buy a niche fragrance. That's how I've got my collection. A lot of my collection is decants, which is something I never even knew existed. And I buy a lot of decants first because I got burned so many times blind buying with something I hated. So I buy decants now and live with it. And then if I like it, I'll go ahead and save the money to buy it. But that's kind of my journey in a nutshell.
That's a great one. I think a lot of people did some similar things during the pandemic lockdown.
Yeah. I just wanted to learn something new. And I was like, one of the things about me is that I've always been into fashion, design, art, music. And I can't afford a lot of the high fashion stuff, you know, because I have priorities and stuff like that. And I can't buy a $350 pair of, you know, Gucci sneakers. And I've always wanted to be able to have those designers in my house. The best way I can afford them is through their fragrances, because it's just really weird to me that their clothes are super high, but their fragrances are super cheap. So that was the way I could have all these houses like Givenchy and everybody, you know, Chanel in my house without breaking the bank.
Yeah.
I know that may sound weird, but
that's totally makes sense.
And then like I had my door open to me with Niche. I didn't even know that was something that existed. And one of the things I like about Niche is they tell a story better. They tell a story. They have art, like, you know, zoologists, they have art and they tell a story and they're unique and weird. And that was just another rabbit hole to go down to with the niche fragrances. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I still feel like that, you know, Harry Potter walking into Hogwarts for the first time. He's never practiced magic. He's never seen floating candles or whatever. And I'm just looking at all this stuff like, you know, so I'm still like that right now, just kind of in shock and awe. And I'm enjoying it.
Oh, cool. That's great. That's awesome.
And the videos were just a challenge, you know, crash course and trying to get braver and, you know, and just inspire my kids.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sadly, all my early videos are no longer. I probably had, I don't know, like 600 videos on the old channel. They're completely gone. But as I said, that's the story for another day. I won't get into that right now.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate. Is there anything before I let you go? Is there anything that you would like to promote or tell the audience about coming out, or the exciting news or anything like that?
Well, one thing I forgot to mention is a lot of church smells. See, I grew up Christian Orthodox, and that's one of the things that was kind of an influence with smells for me, because the incense was so strong, and we have an obsession in our religion with incense, frankincense. So that's one thing that left an impression on me as well, with different smells. We were talking about the gasoline and petrol and things like that.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. You mentioned church, and I was like, oh God, I forgot to mention church smells and things like that. And even when I traveled to Europe, when I go into like a church, like a Catholic church or something, there is a kind of an old, slightly moldy, incensey kind of a smell in there that I really like. So
musty kind of.
Musty, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's amazing how there's almost this I'm sorry to cut you off, how there's these really cool pictures that are painted in religion, especially with Christ, you know, when they brought him myrrh and frankincense. And then there's the story of the lady that washed his feet with perfume. And so many times she did it with her hair, because she didn't have anything, because, you know, it was customary in those days, their feet would get dirty from wearing the sandals, and they would wash their feet. And so the lady cleaned his feet with an expensive perfume. She used her hair to do it. And that's a story in the Bible. And oftentimes, you know, God in the Bible refers to the things that we do that are good as a sweet smelling aroma to him, you know. So I just thought that those are some cool religious, and so many other religions have incense and frankincense, and so it's cool. It's definitely a cool vibe.
Cool. Yeah, one more thing. I do have, I mentioned these in my videos, but if you are obsessed with fragrances like me, I started creating a bunch of different perfume themed t-shirts. So, and I'm going to send you one. I'll talk off screen about it. But if you wanted to go find my t-shirts, all focused on different perfume themes, some of them focused on specific notes. Some of them are just all, you know, with the lettering of perfume and the different designs. I'll send you a link. Maybe you can add it in the video too. But
yes,
if you're ever on my channel, they're usually there. It's my Teespring shop, and there's many different designs. If you like to wear t-shirts, and summer's around the corner. So actually, you know what? Let me show you one of them.
Yeah, do it.
This is one of my latest t-shirts. This one's focusing on the note of galbanum.
That is awesome.
So yeah, I've got a ton of different ones. I've got one like a fougere one like this. There's a vetiver one that's coming out soon. So different notes and different perfume themed t-shirts. So
thank you for sure. I'm definitely going to link that. I'm going to link everything: Instagram, YouTube, everything. We'll put it down there for people to make it that much easier in the description to find you and subscribe to you, because I know, especially the new guys, they're going to learn so much from you and be inspired by you, and it'll take them down the rabbit hole like it did me. So thank you so much. That was awesome.
All right.
Cool. I really appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome.